Hamilton. Deep left field, and the Royals are on the board. One too many fastballs by Kikuchi. We just got to keep telling you.
All right, y'all. Well, unfortunately, the Kansas City Royals are once again starting off the work week with a loss, dropping the series opener against the Toronto Blue Jays 5-3 in a game that the score would say was much more competitive than it actually felt watching. Welcome to the Royals Recap. My name is Jacob Milham. I am one half of the Royals Rundown podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, then the very next one in the hopper is our full-length episode that comes out on Monday mornings or Sunday evenings, whichever time I feel like putting it out, to be honest. That one with Jeremy Greco, talk a lot about the entire Baltimore Orioles series and how we are feeling about the Kansas City Royals, so please go check that one out. But let's go ahead and focus on the April 22nd loss against the Blue Jays. The Royals dropped to 13-10. It was not nearly as competitive as that 2-run differential would say. I mean, the Royals didn't even score until a Michael Garcia home run that scored him and Dairon Blanco in the bottom of the 6th. And then Kyle Isbell made it, gave everyone in Kauffman Stadium a little bit of hope with a 2-run solo shot to right field in the bottom of the 9th. Outside of those 2 home runs, there are some things to like about tonight's game. After all, the Royals did out-hit the Toronto Blue Jays 8-6, but the thing that really sticks out to me is this just wasn't a good plate approach game for the Kansas City Royals. It feels like no walks today as a lineup, which is very surprising. And then Vinny Pasquantino uncharacteristically had 2 strikeouts to no walks himself tonight. So that is he continues his hitting streak. To say that he did have 1 hit tonight. So did Bobby, so did Michael. Salvador Perez had 2 hits. So the top half of the lineup was really producing overall. But if you look at the game as a whole, this wasn't a team that failed to capitalize on their opportunities. They just frankly failed to create those opportunities. Usually when we look at a Royals loss, we can say, okay, well, they were really bad with runners in scoring position. So, you start off with the guy on second and you just can't get him around. And they were 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. Like, that's not good, but that's not bad enough to say, okay, that was the problem. That was the difference between winning and losing. Nelson Velasquez, he did not perform very well in his high leverage opportunities, which was surprising. I'm trying to think. He was the only batter who, well, no, he wasn't the only batter. I'll take that back. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I can't be mad at this. They lost. Brady Singer didn't have a characteristic start. Yusei Kikuchi he had a good game. The lefty had a really good game, and he controlled the strike zone well. He was very efficient in his start, and the Royals couldn't really rebound or take advantage of a Blue Jays bullpen. And you kind of just chalk it up to that, and you keep it moving into Tuesday. Like, that's where I'm sitting right now. It's you could talk about, Bobby needs to do more, Michael needs to do more. I was kind of surprised that when Bobby got on base later on in the game, he wasn't more aggressive. I do feel like the Kansas City Royals have not been very aggressive on the base paths in the past few games, which, maybe it's an overall trend. They have lost 3 games in a row for the first time this season, so there might be something there. But like that, again, that's something in the margins that I don't think that would be the difference between this team winning and losing. It is what it is. Adam Frazier, good on him. He finally got his first double of the year. He's been getting on base at a very good clip, but he was not getting those extra bases, as you know. I'm just let me know in the Spotify Q&A how y'all are feeling about this game, because there are some minute things that I would absolutely love to pick on. I get it. You're going up against a lefty. I still don't like Garrett Hampson starting in center field and then Dairon Blanco out in left field. I would have preferred Blanco to be in center field and kind of keep MJ Melendez in there. If you're still going to have Michael Massey, if you're still going to have Vinny in the lineup, I prefer MJ Melendez's higher ceiling bat over Garrett Hampson's approach. Singer's start tonight was a mixed bag, to say the least. He did pitch 6 innings, pitched 107 total pitches, which is very, very surprising. But he was fairly erratic. He did have 3 walks to only 5 strikeouts, and of those 107 pitches, only 65 were for strikes. So that's not a great ratio. That's not really what we're used to with Brady Singer so far this year. 5 hits, 5 earned runs. Those walks really killed him. That accounted for a good portion of the runs scored by the Toronto Blue Jays. Overall, his ERA still sits at 2.76. So this doesn't detonate his overall season, but he didn't do anything to help the Royals win tonight. Tyler Duffy made his Kansas City Royals debut pitching 2 innings. Shutout ball, good for him, no hits. He himself was very erratic as well. 2 walks. They were back-to-back walks, if I remember correctly, but he had 3 strikeouts to get out of that situation. So, if you look at the ratio of you face 7 batters and you strike out 3 of them, that's a pretty good rate, if you ask me. So Tyler Duffy joined, if you're unaware, he joined the roster today after the Royals sent down Anthony Veneziano. Veneziano, the lefty, hopefully gets some more work in Omaha as they start a series in Warner Park on Tuesday. So I didn't like him as a fit on in the bullpen. He just doesn't have the stuff. He's more of an innings guy. He's going to get those innings for you, and that's why he's pitching as a starter in Omaha. Nick Anderson came in the 9th. He did his job as well. 1 hit allowed, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. He is quietly rebounding from a couple of early season rough starts, really commanding the strike zone very well, I think. But again, that's another guy I'm not gonna come up and say, "Ooh, man, turn on the television. Nick Anderson is taking the mound." He just doesn't have that stuff. But the veteran does have the experience and the savvy approach that makes him effective as a reliever out of the Royals bullpen. So this was it wasn't a blowout, but this doesn't feel like a game that the Royals at any point had a fighting chance in. And you just kind of chalk it up to, well, you go out there and see what we can do next time. A good attendance for a Monday game, I will say that. Thanks to those folks who got out to Kauffman Stadium. 10,004 folks on a Monday night. Hey, I'll take that for an April game. Thankfully, they kept it short, at least 2 hours and 23 minutes on Game Time tonight. Coming up on the other side of the ad break, we will hear from whoever Bally Sports scrounges up after tonight's loss. Usually it's not the best reaction to losses, but we got to hear from them anyways, so stay tuned.
Yeah, he was throwing harder at the beginning of the game. Had some good movement on his 2-seamer and his breaking ball. Threw a couple 4-seamers in there as well, but really just got hurt by the walk to Kiner Falefa started that. But the Shed hit a pretty good, at least from my perspective, pretty good breaking ball. Hit it pretty well and just kept carrying. Just got out of the reach of Hamps.
Did you get a glove on that?
I don't think so, but he was closing in on it. He said it just kept tailing away.
How much did the leadoff hogs hurt Singer third of the sixth?
Yeah, I mean, both of them scored, and then I haven't gone back to look at it, but it looked like a really borderline tough pitch, for the walk to Vladdy too.
What made Kikuchi difficult to hit against for you?
Well, he's good. I mean, he's got a quick arm. He's got 4 pitches. He challenges you. He pitches into righties. Any number of things make him difficult.
Offense got going a little bit. Good sign for you to see the couple of home runs out of the guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the homers are nice. We just need to sustain some things and be able to score in other ways as well.
A lot of hard hits. Does that tell you that you're on track toward doing that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, always that's a better sign than the alternative. Yeah, we just have to get him. We have to get the sequencing right, get him at the right times.
Tyler Duffy made his debut tonight and got 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings. How do you see him being utilized moving forward?
Just like that, multiple innings. He's really tough on righties. You see with the breaking balls. He's a guy that's been around. It's his Royals debut, but he's got over 6 years in the big league. So we feel really comfortable with him. The moment's not going to get him. He's used to facing good major league hitters. So we'll use him like that. When the spots in the lineup are right.
The play at the plate is just unfortunate. That's contact play right at him. Not much to do there.
That's a weird read because he's back. He's kind of back. He's kind of in the middle. The ball wasn't hit that hard. The out's made at the plate, but regardless, we're going to have one guy on base there regardless after that play's over. So it's not the end of the world that he was thrown out at the plate. We got a guy on third with 2 outs, or we got a guy on first with 2 outs. We're down 3 still at the time. So.
Think about pinch hitting for Blanco in the 7th inning. I saw MJ was on deck in the 9th.
If it had been the tying run, yes.
And then when Kikuchi is that efficient through 5 innings, I think he was at 48 pitches.
Yeah.
What sort of adjustment did you see in the 6th? I think he threw something. And is that nice to see, especially later on in that outing when he's really on a roll?
Yeah, I mean, 48 in 5 innings is pretty unusual, and he didn't walk anybody. He kept attacking. He was in the zone the whole time, and like you hear me say it all the time. The more decisions you make, hitters make, especially if you have really good stuff like he does. It's tough. You got to swing the bat, or you're going to be behind. And tonight, when we swung the bat, we put it in play. It was either right at him or it was a fly ball or whatever the case was. We couldn't string anything together.
All right, everyone, thank you very much for listening to tonight's Royals recap. Coming up on Tuesday for you, first pitch tomorrow is at 6:40 Kauffman Standard Time. Kevin Gossman is taking the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays, where Michael Wacha will be making the start for the Kansas City Royals. Should be a good matchup of the veteran righties. I am looking forward to that, and hopefully we can end the losing skid. We don't like to call them streaks unless they're good streaks, but it would be a real bummer if the Royals went on a 4-game losing streak. Oof. Yeesh, that would not be very, very good at all. So let's hope that the top of the lineup keeps things going. Let's hope that the lineup they need to score runs in groups. They need to get hits in groups. Okay, like overall, the lineup did not do terrible tonight, but they didn't create those opportunities successively. I guess it was onesie twosies, and that did not help the team win at all. The Royals are now 9-5 at Kauffman Stadium after being 9-2 just a few days ago. Can't have that. Let's go out there, defend the home turf. If you can, go buy a ticket. It's Dollar Dog Night in Kauffman Stadium. That's really fun. So go out there, get some cheap food, watch some baseball, and hopefully watch a Kansas City Royals win. Once again, my name is Jacob Milham. Thank you very much for joining me on the Royals recap. Go check out RoyalsReview.com for more Royals news, analysis, and commentary. Plus, you can join the comment community over there for an even better experience as a Royals fan. For now, I will talk to y'all tomorrow, and until next time, go Royals!